So if you're going to use the direct letter creation tool within Cerner, then you need to set up your M page to make it work best for you. So as I've said already, you need to use the M modal outpatient tab within the clinical workflow documentation. And I would recommend, as long as you've got a wide enough screen or a screen with sufficient resolution, that you break the screen in half and start to bring the fields that you're going to be using onto the right-hand side. You can drag these up and down depending on which order you want them in, and perhaps at the beginning it would be useful to get rid of some of the items if you never use them. I don't usually use microbiology in outpatients, and there might be other areas there that you're not particularly interested in, which you could get rid of by unticking them. So, as I've said before, every patient, every time you want to create a letter, it's essential that you have the M modal instructions. So I would suggest that you tick this little box here and bring this over onto the right-hand side. And then any other fields that you're going to use routinely for your letter, you can do the same thing for. So if you don't want to worry about history, presenting complaint, examination, plan, what have you, you could just simply bring the letter one over, and they might be all that you'll complete. However, perhaps logically speaking, if you're going to follow your letter through in some kind of logical order, we could bring in history of the presenting complaint. Unfortunately, you need to do these in the order you want to use them, because they don't respond well to being dragged up and down, so you need to put them in the right order. So history of presenting complaint, I'm going to put examinations in, and then the GPs are very keen that we have near the top of the letter actions for GP, so I would encourage you to use that. And a plan, that's pretty much all that I use. And then I have the problem list at the top, because I'm always going to complete that, because that's going to come across as part of my letter. Vital signs, perhaps if it's been completed by the clinic staff. And again, it would be useful, for example, to have the, if I can find it, labs. Now this is a test patient, so there won't be any labs, but if I have that near the top, then they will appear, and I can easily determine any recent results, and I'll be able to tag those if necessary and bring them into my letter. So M modal instructions, history presenting complaint, exam, and a plan. If you want it, you can add in the letter, which I use as a place to store additional information. For example, procedure-related information and risks and benefits that I've discussed with the patient, which I might do using auto text. For example, I might have, if I've created some standard text around a procedure, that's maybe where I put that. And then finally, useful to have to know that it exists if you want it is this field here, internal use only. This allows you to document sensitive information in the document on EPR that will be excluded by M modal and therefore will not go to the patient and the GP. So it's helpful to know that that exists.